Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Nedarim. We are up to Perek Yud Mishnah Zayin. Today's Mishnayot should be Leilu Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana Ranbayev, Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov, Chana bat Miriam, and Nasason ben Raya, Menuchatam began Eden, Amen, and Avdi ben Chaim Nechaim, with the Refuah Shelemav, Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betor Shachole Israel. The Mishnah now turns to a fully married couple. It discusses whether a husband can approve or cancel his wife's Nedarim before she even makes them. Haomer liishto, if someone says to his wife, the same applies to a father and daughter, before leaving on a journey, Kol Nedarim shetidori mikan ad she'avo mimakom ploni eren kayamin, all Nedarim that you will make from the time I leave here until I come back from such and such place are hereby approved. Lo amar klum, he has said nothing, meaning his approval is ineffective because we assume that he did not really mean it. Since she might make some Nedarim that he will not want to approve, it can be assumed that he does not really mean to approve all Nedarim in advance. He simply means to caution her to consider her Nedarim carefully. Now in truth though, even if the husband mentioned a specific neder, in which case he clearly meant to approve it, the neder is not approved because he does not have the power to approve a neder before it is made. Therefore, if she makes any nedarim while he is away, he can still cancel them on the day he hears about them. Haren mufarin, however, if he says, all nedarim that you will make while I am away are hereby cancelled, Rabbi Eliezer says, mufar, any neder she makes while he is away is cancelled. Since the husband generally does not want his wife to make nedarim, we assume that he truly meant to cancel them. But the sages say, eno mufar, if she makes a neder, it is not cancelled, because even if he meant to cancel a nedarim, he cannot do so before she makes them. Now Rabbi Eliezer and the sages give the reasons behind their rulings. Rabbi Eliezer uses a logical argument to prove that a husband does have the power to cancel his wife's nedarim in advance. Amar Rabbi Eliezer said, Im efer nedarim sheba'u lichlal isur. If a husband is able to cancel nedarim that his wife has made, which have already become forbidden, meaning they have taken effect and she is forbidden to violate them, lo yafer nedarim shelo ba'u lichlal isur, shall he not be able to cancel nedarim that she has not yet made, which have not yet become forbidden, meaning that have not yet taken effect. Surely nedarim that have not yet taken effect are weaker and easier to cancel. Now the sages cite a scriptural source to override Rabbi Eliezer's logic. Amrulo, the sages said to Rabbi Eliezer, Harei Omer, but the Torah states in Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 30, verse 14, Ishah yikimenu v'ishah yiferenu. Any neder, her husband may approve it and her husband may cancel it. The Torah mentions approval and cancellation together in order to teach that et sheba lichlal hakem, only a neder that is subject to approval, meaning a neder she has already made, which the husband is able to approve, ba lichlal hafer, is subject to cancellation. Lo ba lichlal hakem, but a neder that is not subject to approval, meaning a neder that she has not yet made, which her husband cannot approve, as the beginning of the Mishnah taught, lo ba lichlal hafer, it is not subject to cancellation. The sages argue that while Rabbi Eliezer's logic is correct, a scriptural teaching overrides a logical argument. And that is the end of Mishnah Zayin. Now the Torah says in Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 30, verse 6, verse 9, and verse 13, that a father or husband can cancel a neder of his wife or daughter only on the day that he hears about it. Our Mishnah, Mishnah Chet, elaborates on this law. Hafarat nedarim, cancellation of nedarim by a father or husband, kol hayom, can be done throughout the day on which he hears about the neder until nightfall. For this, as for most areas of Jewish law, the 24-hour day begins and ends at nightfall. Yesh badavar la'aker u'lachmir. Because of this, the window of time he has to cancel the neder varies. Sometimes the matter is lenient, there is a relatively long time, and other times it is stringent, there is only a short time. Ketzad, so Nadra belileh Shabbat, for example, if she vowed in front of her father or husband on the night of Shabbat, Friday night, Yafer belileh Shabbat of Yom HaShabbat ad shetechshach, he can cancel the neder on the night of Shabbat and on the day of Shabbat until nightfall when Shabbat ends. So he has almost 24 hours, a relatively long time to cancel the neder. Nadraim chashecha, but if she vowed in front of him as night was falling at the end of Shabbat, meferat shelo techshach, he can cancel the neder only before nightfall, which leaves him with a very short time to cancel it. Shim chashcha v'lo efer, for if night fell and he had not yet cancelled it, and no yachol ha'afer, he cannot cancel it anymore. The same applies on any day of the week. The Mishnah chose an example of a neder made on Shabbat in order to teach that cancellation of a neder by a husband or father is always permitted on Shabbat. This is different from an annulment of Nedarim by a sage, which is permitted on Shabbat only when necessary to properly observe Shabbat. For example, if a person vowed not to eat, which goes against the obligation to enjoy Shabbat with food and drink, he may have that neder annulled even on Shabbat. And that is Anabotai today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.